Schools are preparing to shutter 3 schools after the end of the current school year. Before Fairplains Elementary, Lincoln Elementary, and Devender Middle School close, members of the public have a chance to tour the schools. The community tour at Lincoln is set for May 24th from 1 to 3 p.m. The tours at Fairplains and Devender are from 1 to 4 p.m. on June 28th. Assistant Superintendent of Operations Caleb Lawrence says the tours give people who still feel connected to the schools a chance to indulge in that nostalgia one last time.
It's emotional. Their ties, their families went there, their parents, their grandparents, they themselves, their kids. That's in the school system, big county like we have, you have a lot of buildings. And unfortunately, when enrollment goes down, you have to close some of those buildings. Nobody here really wants to do that, but you kind of have to.
Lincoln and Devender will both be demolished to make room for the planned new North Parkersburg Elementary School. After the schools close, their current students will go to other middle or elementary schools in the county, depending on where they live. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine